Snoop is just really hilarious.
Snoop Dogg is funny, yeah.
He's doing all these things.
He performed. So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it?
Y'all, I need to tell you about the wildest drama that just went down between two legends who we thought were brothers for life. Snoop Dogg just went off on Katt Williams after the comedian sent him what insiders are calling a harsh warning behind closed doors. We're talking about a friendship that goes back decades. And now,
your career down the road. People might not want to book you in Texas or Arizona or California.
Sir. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Let's let that...
Snoop is reportedly saying things about Katt that have the entire industry picking sides. What could Katt Williams have possibly said to one of the chillest dudes in hip-hop to make him come out swinging like this? Let me break down this whole situation for you because it's messier than anybody expected. First, let me set the stage here because Snoop Dogg and Katt Williams go way back.
Yeah. Get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black.
These two have been running in the same circle since the early 2000s. Snoop's been in comedy films, Katt's been performing at hip-hop festivals, and they've always shown mad love to each other publicly. You've seen them together at award shows, cracking jokes, doing interviews side by side. For years, fans looked at them as the perfect example of how rappers and comedians can support each other in the entertainment game.
Katt Williams has never been shy about speaking his mind. The man has called out everybody from Kevin Hart to Steve Harvey to Cedric the Entertainer. That's just who he is.
Just want to say this real quick, now on the political shit. All you people for the federal government that not getting paid right now, ain't no fucking way in the world y'all can vote for Donald Trump when he come back up again. If y'all do vote for him, y'all some stupid mother.
He gets on stage and tells what he believes is the truth. No filter, no apologies. And for the longest time, Snoop seemed to respect that about him. Snoop would laugh at Katt's jokes, even when they were controversial. He'd defend Katt when people said he was going too far. There was this unspoken understanding between them. But word on the street is that things started getting tense earlier this year. Allegedly, Katt has been having conversations with people in the industry.
Now, Snoop Dogg, he got the backlash because people are like, wait, this isn't the same Snoop from 2016 who had so much to say about the artist before.
Warning them about certain behaviors and calling out what he sees as fake friendships and industry games. According to sources close to the situation, Katt started feeling like too many people were playing both sides, being friendly to your face while doing shady things behind your back. And apparently, he decided he needed to say something to Snoop directly. Now, we don't know exactly what Katt said in this so-called warning, but insiders claim it had something to do with the company Snoop's been keeping and some business moves he's been making.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you?
Katt Williams has always positioned himself as someone who stays independent, who doesn't sell out, who keeps it real no matter what. And reportedly, he felt like Snoop was moving in a direction that went against everything they used to stand for together. Here's where it gets crazy. The news about this beef didn't come from social media posts or a public call-out.
Of course, Snoop has responded to the backlash he received for performing for a Trump event. One of the things he pointed out was that we always stick together. We're good at tearing each other apart, which is pretty constant. It's pretty consistent when somebody gets into trouble. It takes backlash from the community. It's always a communal thing. It isn't any action they took. It is the fact that we can't stay together, that we can't stick together, that it's us always attacking us. But that flies in the face of the reality of what's happening right now. It is not us who are tearing down affirmative action. It is not us who is tearing down DEI. It is not us who are tearing families apart. It is not us who have decided that affirmative action and rollbacks that have been that had precedent for 50, 60 years are gone. It is not us that is doing that. It is, I think most people are disappointed because they saw you a specific way, and you have a right to kind of interpret and do whatever artistically you want to. No one
started bubbling up through industry insiders about 3 weeks ago. People who work in comedy clubs and recording studios started whispering that Snoop and Katt had a serious falling out. Then, According to multiple sources, Snoop started making comments during private conversations at events, and those comments got back to people real quick.
I was begrudging you that. But why the attack on the community because they disagree with something you did?
One source told a popular entertainment blog that Snoop said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Katt needs to worry about his own career instead of trying to police everybody else. Allegedly, Snoop told people at a party that Katt's been on a high horse lately, acting like he's the moral compass of Hollywood when his own life has been chaotic. Now, we all know Katt has had his share of legal troubles and public incidents over the years. Snoop apparently brought some of that up, saying Katt doesn't have room to be sending warnings to anybody. But hold up, it gets messier. Another insider claims that Snoop went even further during a studio session. Reportedly, he was recording with some other artists and producers, and Katt's name came up. According to this source, Snoop said that Katt's recent interviews where he's been calling people out are just desperate attempts to stay relevant. He allegedly said that Katt used to be one of the funniest comedians alive, but now he's more focused on starting beef than making people laugh.
The streets started talking, and social media detectives picked up on the tension. Fans noticed that Snoop unfollowed Katt on Instagram, which might seem small, but in celebrity world, that's a declaration. Then people started going through old interviews and finding moments where you could see little hints of tension that nobody caught before. There's this one clip from about 6 months ago where Snoop's talking about authenticity in the industry, and he makes a comment about people who talk too much, without naming names. Fans are now convinced he was already feeling some type of way about Katt back then. What really got people going was when a well-known comedian who's friends with both of them did a podcast interview last week. He didn't mention names, but he talked about witnessing a conversation between two legends that got heated. He said one of them was trying to give the other advice about loyalty and staying true to the game, but it came across as preachy and judgmental. The other person apparently felt disrespected and let it be known that nobody tells him how to move. Fans immediately connected the dots and figured out he was talking about Katt and Snoop. According to the streets, Katt's warning to Snoop had something to do with some of the corporate deals Snoop's been taking lately. Y'all know Snoop has been everywhere the past few years. He's doing commercials for everything from beer to insurance. He's got his own wine brand. He's working with major corporations. He's even commentating at the Olympics. Katt allegedly told him that all these mainstream moves were watering down his image and that he was becoming a sellout. Now, whether you agree with that or not, you can imagine how Snoop would react to being called a sellout by someone he considered a friend. Now, here's the real jaw-dropper. Snoop hasn't addressed this publicly in a direct way yet, but people close to him say he's genuinely hurt and angry. One person in his camp told a reporter that Snoop feels betrayed because he's always had Katt's back, even when Katt was going through his worst times. This source said Snoop used to call Katt, check on him, try to help him get back on his feet when things went sideways. And now, for Katt to come at him like he's doing something wrong, Snoop reportedly feels like that's ungrateful and disrespectful. On the flip side, people close to Katt Williams say he's not backing down. They claim Katt believes he was being a real friend by giving Snoop a reality check. In Katt's mind, allegedly, a true friend tells you when you're slipping, even if you don't want to hear it. His people are saying that Katt never intended for this to become public drama, but now that it has, he stands by what he said. According to one source, Katt feels like Snoop's defensive reaction proves his point about how success can change people and make them unable to accept criticism. Other celebrities are definitely picking up on what's happening, even if most of them aren't saying anything publicly. Ice Cube was asked about it in a recent interview, and he tried to stay diplomatic. He said something like, "Those are my brothers," and brothers sometimes disagreed, but at the end of the day, they're both kings in their own right. That's the kind of political answer you'd expect, but you could tell he didn't want to get in the middle of it.
But on the other hand, some younger comedians and rappers have been subtly taking sides on social media. There are posts that seem to be showing support for Snoop's right to make money and expand his brand however he wants. These posts don't mention the beef directly, but they're talking about how people shouldn't hate on success and how everybody's path is different. Then you've got other people posting about staying authentic and not letting corporate America change who you are, which seems like coded support for Katt's position. The impact on their careers is interesting to think about. Snoop Dogg is arguably more successful now than he's ever been in terms of mainstream appeal and money. He's not going to be hurt by this drama at all. If anything, it might make him seem more human and less like the untouchable icon he's become. But Katt Williams, this could go either way for him. His whole brand is built on being the truth teller who doesn't care what anybody thinks. This situation reinforces that image. However, if people start seeing him as someone who turns on his friends and starts unnecessary beef, it could hurt his reputation in the long run. Let me explain what's really going on beneath the surface here, because this isn't just about two celebrities having a disagreement. This is about a tension that's been building in entertainment for years. You've got the old school way of doing things, where artists stayed in their lane, kept a certain edge, and didn't fully embrace corporate America. Then you've got the new school approach, where it's all about building an empire, getting that money from every possible source, and saying yes to opportunities that previous generations might have turned down. Snoop Dogg represents that evolution perfectly. The man went from being on trial for murder in the 1990s to hosting television shows with Martha Stewart. He went from making gangster rap to doing beer commercials during the Super Bowl. And you know what? He's been successful at it. He's secured his financial future, he's become a beloved figure across multiple generations, and he's done it while still maintaining respect in the hip-hop community. That's not easy to pull off. Katt Williams, on the other hand, has always been more of a purist. He's turned down major opportunities because he felt they would compromise his comedy or his message. He's walked away from huge deals because there were strings attached he didn't like. He's gotten himself in trouble by speaking out when maybe he should have stayed quiet. But that's his brand. That's his identity. He believes in sacrifice for the sake of authenticity. The question becomes, who's right? Is Snoop wrong for evolving and taking these corporate opportunities? Or is Katt wrong for judging someone else's choices? The answer probably depends on your own values and what you think success should look like. There's also a historical pattern here that's worth mentioning. Katt has had public disagreements with multiple people over the years, and a common theme is him calling people out for what he perceives as selling out or being fake. He did it with Kevin Hart, saying Kevin's success came from being safe and acceptable to white audiences. He did it with Steve Harvey, accusing him of stealing jokes and being a hypocrite. Now he's apparently doing it with Snoop. Some people see this as Katt being a fearless truth teller. Other people see it as a pattern of burning bridges and alienating potential allies. Snoop, for his part, has generally avoided beef throughout his career, especially in recent years. He's made peace with former enemies, he's collaborated with people across different genres and generations, and he's built a reputation as someone who brings people together rather than divides them. So for him to reportedly roast Katt the way he did, it had to really get under his skin. The industry dynamics are complicated too. When you reach Snoop's level of success, you have teams of people whose jobs depend on you. You have business partners, investors, employees. Every decision you make affects other people's livelihoods. So when someone like Katt comes at you talking about selling out, you're not just defending yourself, you're defending an entire operation. That adds a layer of pressure and sensitivity to the situation. So where do things stand right now? As of this moment, neither Snoop nor Katt has made a full public statement addressing this directly. The beef is still simmering, mostly playing out through sources and insiders talking to media outlets, and through subtle social media moves. The question everybody's asking is whether these two will eventually hash it out privately and move past it, or if this is a permanent split in a friendship that lasted decades. What happens next really depends on whether either of them decides to address it head on. If Snoop goes on a podcast or does an interview and speaks on it directly, that could escalate things. If Katt gets on stage and makes it part of his act, that's another level entirely. Or maybe, just maybe, some mutual friends will get them in a room together and they'll work it out like adults. Time will tell. Here's what I want to know from y'all in the comments. Do you think Katt was right to warn Snoop about the moves he's been making, or should he have minded his own business? And do you think Snoop was justified in roasting Katt? Or did he overreact to someone trying to be a real friend? Drop your thoughts below because I want to hear different perspectives on this. If you want more celebrity tea and the latest drama from Hollywood and the hip-hop world, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're going to keep following this story and let you know if anything else develops. Until next time, y'all stay blessed and keep it real.